in. Might get a little dark in here quick. You know what I'm saying? What kind of hands is these? What kind of hands is? What kind of hands is these, man? What kind of hands is these, buddy? There we go. Oh wow! Scoop, 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 scoop. Pun, 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 pun. Got a little bit in here. Yeah, yeah. Oh boy. Let me see what we got. There we go. Yo, what's good, family? Hope y'all doing well, man. Hope y'all having a great day thus far. Right? I had wrote I got like a little idea notebook. Whenever I just have thoughts, I just write them down a little bit. Let's see. So I'm gonna talk about. Wrote an idea down about just finding peace within and stop caring for the need to express yourself to for attention, like how that is normalized nowadays. Like people trying to get likes. Everybody wants to go viral nowadays. Everybody wants to be famous. You know what I'm saying? You can be famous without, what I'm saying? Like we look at superstars nowadays, like that is abnormal. That's not normal. Having millions of followers, that is not normal, right? Because in a day and age where, we have social media, making me address this real quick, or we have social media where we can be able to access instantaneously other people's lives, which is not normal already, which is already inauthentic, right? Because they have to pause from the authenticity of what they were doing, then record it, show it, broadcast it, right? Because this is a broadcast, right? We're broadcasting right now. Broadcast it, and then you know give it to the people that's tuning into their broadcast, right? People are trying to, like I say, be famous. Just it's no need really, because first of all, let's look at the industry of entertainment, right? They siphon the energy, all that. Like that's why I've never went to a concert. Never had the need. All of that, that's energy harvesting, right? We're giving all of that energy to that individual that's on stage, which is a false um, god at that point, because they're standing on stage and we're giving them that attention. And a lot of these, industries, they have deities that worship, other deities, especially the music industry. They worship, ancient Egyptian deities. That's how they gain their power, right? And what's going on, Tamara? That's how they gain their power. They're siphoning energies from people that are unconsciously giving it to these individuals that's rising up on stage, false gods, right? And that's why I really don't have a need to, like I say, want to finish the like my music really. I can if I wanted to, but I detached from it. I detached from video creation. I detached from this right here, right? Scrolling endlessly on social media, because it's so many realities within this one reality. It's like we're all in the same world, but a different reality, right? We're all in the same world, but a different reality. Or I mean, it really depends on how you look at it, though. We all in the same reality, but a different world, right? Like I say, it's all about perception, though. But everybody's experience is different. It's just that nowadays we're all chasing. Not all. I'm not saying we're all, but like we're allowing social media, these platforms, to really pretty much run our lives. We can live and find joy without the need to be on social media, right? I'm not sure, who all remember those days before maybe 2008, before we had like smartphones, like before everyone had a smartphone. You know what I mean? Like my first phone was the not the Nokia, it was like a cellular or singular whatever flip phone, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the one after that had that Nextel, that Nokia. What's going on, Krista? I'm well. I appreciate you for asking. I'm great, actually. I just woke up from a nap and I looked at this phone. I was like, dang, it's almost time to get on. It's almost 7 o'clock. So I was a little late actually getting on because I had left my portable charger inside of Barnes and Noble. So I hopped in there real quick and got back. But yeah, before like 2008, where when everyone had access to a smartphone, you know what I'm saying? People were outside more. We were in our gardens more, gardening. We were just, we was enjoying our lives opposed to posting about it, right? We were enjoying our lives instead of posting about it, right? But I'm just saying, like it's very inauthentic. It's not real. What's going on, Norbit? It's not like a real thing, like or normal to have millions of followers like that, like celebrities do. It's not the way it's done now. It's not authentic, right? It's a control. First of all, they're controlling individuals through frequency, right? Look into frequency. They control people through vibrations, right? First of all, listen to what the songs are saying. And a lot of the songs that sound good, I'm like, wait a minute, we talking extremely negative because it ain't always got to be about drugs, sex, and money. They could be talking about sadness and being depressed. And you resonating with that song, and you feeling good when you're singing that song because you can relate to it. But the more you sing that song, the longer the depression might be, the longer the sadness might be, right? So, like I said, it's very key to tune in to what frequencies we put into our bodies because we were able to access that vibration, that field very quickly. Um, and sometimes it's very tough to see what we allow into our biofields, what we allow into our minds, right? But but yeah, man, like back before like the early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us were living regular lives, having joyful lives. Like it's very key for us now to find joy within our everyday lives without the need to or want to be famous, right? Because what does it mean to be famous, right? The definition of famous, we have a very heightened idea of what that means. We just think of celebrities. Oh, we got to have a millions of followers. You can be famous in your community. You can be famous on your street from where you live at. You can be famous in your household. Like I say, it's all about perception, right? But really avoiding the need to want to be famous. Just find joy. So all we really need is just to find joy. And then, one can become famous without just that need because a lot of these famous entertainers, they tell you once they get to the top, it's not what they expected. They realized they was chasing something that never filled them up, and they still empty, right? That's why we no longer see what's buddy name? What's buddy name from Bruce Almighty and The Mask? I can't think of his name right now, but like I said, I really don't keep up with celebrities because I never really had the want or need to follow their lives or even like know whom and who all of them were. I just never really cared for it. It wasn't. I was like, why do I want to you know invest time in somebody else's life? Why do I want to fanboy or fangirl about this individual? Because I got my own life to live. I got my own things to take care of. Right? Why would I want to live my life through them? And a lot of us we do that. We don't see it though, but it's just the brainwashing. That's what they do as far as the entertainment industry goes. They brainwash all of us, right? And it's just for discerning eyes to see what they allow, what resonates with them, and what doesn't, right? Just listen, like I said, listen to the music, listen to what people saying and what they're doing, and it'll show you a lot though, right? But yeah, man, I was thinking about that, about like just finding peace within it and not really having the need to want to be understood, or expressing yourself for others, individuals, like without receiving something. That's really the main thing, right? A lot of times we express ourselves in a way where we want to receive something from other individuals, right? And but yeah, that's really the main thing I really wanted to talk about here, though. But I hope everybody having a great day so far. I just, like I said, I woke up from a great nap. I had I actually want to talk about this too. Talking to some woman to a woman on TikTok about I had said they try to manipulate you and control you. It can be they as in like not necessarily just all of the elites, but you got some flying monkeys within this matrix, within this system. Um, People that don't have a conscious soul. They try to get you to do things that they think that are acceptable, things that they think you should do, right? And they want you to live a life that they think would be good for you or makes them feel good on the inside, right? And a lot of the times, it doesn't have anything to do with what you do, how you eat, what you wear. As people try to control the narrative of how you live your life. As a neurodivergent, you're not you are the rainbow. We all are the rainbow. It's just that sometimes when a lot of times now people have made amends with the side that they chose to be on. And I'm talking outside of, light and darkness. There's other subgroups within this world that we live in, right? There's other subgroups within this world we live in, and people have sides that they chose to be on within this one little, pool, because we're all human, right? And it's the fact that, if individuals might see you eating healthy, some might try to get you to eat poorly. Some might see you eating poorly. Some might want you to eat healthy. It's really a balance because everything is good. Everything is creation, right? Everything is good. Everything is creation because everything was created, right? Just something better for us in certain situations or better for us in general, right? No one is judging you. We are our own judger, or I said judger. We are our own judge, right? Nobody else is judging you. Nothing outside of you can judge you, right? That's why my music talks about that, right? We are our own judge. Nothing outside of you well, they can judge you, but that's nobody is really supposed to judge anyone else. We're all We should be able to accept one another for who we are, what they are, right? Regardless of what they do. Even if we don't agree with it, so what? People do what they want to do on this earth, on this plane, right? In this simulation, in this construct, right? People can choose to do what they want to do. Now, there's also obviously there's consequences to choices that we make. And the thing is, in this reality, it's really run by darkness, right? Think about the word obey. When people say you should obey God, if God is love, why would he want you to obey? If God is love, why would he want you to obey? Wouldn't an obeying God be the opposite of love? This is my opinion. Think about what I'm saying. Wouldn't an obeying God be the opposite of love, because love accepts people for who they are? So when people say they obey God, a lot of times in this reality, a lot of folks don't realize that the God in the books that have been normalized is not the God that we think it is, because that's not the God of love. That's the opposite. That's why when people go through hard trials and tribulations or whatever, until they start obeying the darkness, and they end up following the darkness without realizing it unconsciously. That's why people who actually truly follow the God of love, the God of light, they have the toughest trials. They have the um, toughest journey. Right? You won't see them with nobody. Right? A lot of folks will shun them. Right? If you think about the narrative of Yeshua in that book, he only had 12 followers, and the rest of the world hated him, strongly disliked him. I don't like the word hate. The rest of the world strongly disliked him. It wasn't until after he was exed, right, until he was unalive, that's when people started following him. It's like, wait a minute, he might have been right after, because that's how it happens. So once people's presence is gone, their absence is felt, right? Once people's presence is gone, their absence is felt, right? So when Yahuwah, right, once he left, because he was being shunned for having a heightened consciousness. That's what the book is about, Christ consciousness, right? He left. Once he had that Christ consciousness, the people that was around him in his original, make sure my thing charging, in his original environment, they weren't they weren't ready for the things that he had to say, right? It was not normal. So they shunned him because it was different from what they knew from the original um, habits or traditions they were doing. Right? That's why he was, exiled. That's why he was put through those flames. Right? When he walked the earth, he wasn't, you know, wealthy in material things, but he was wealthy in spirit. Right? Wealthy from the earth. hmm So it's very key to understand that point right there too. The God that a lot of us are serving from that book is not the God who you think it is. It's not the God of love. It's a lot of trickery going on within this realm, right? A lot of trickery going on within this realm. So we have to be able to discern and see things for what they are, not for what we want them to be. And we can choose to do things a certain way, but if people judge, that's the log underneath their eye, right? We are our own judge. If we say it's good or bad, then it is good or bad, right? It's only until we go outside of ourselves is when we should really start pause and reflect on what are we judging outside of us opposed to in us, right? Because what happens in us happens outside of us, right? But yeah, man. So like I say, the the God that we have known that expresses love is not the God that majority of us follow. Because if God is love, why would he want you to obey? Because especially with that book, when you follow the life of Christ, he wasn't obeying, he was actually pointing out wrongdoings. When you follow the life of Christ, he was pointing out wrongdoings. He wasn't obeying. He was the one person going in the opposite direction of where the blind sheep were going. All the blind sheep were going right, and Christ was going left and talking about some. That's not the way to go. But yet we follow him today. A lot of us follow him today after he was, persecuted, exiled, all that, because they didn't know what he was doing until after he was gone. But hey, that's all I got to say about that, man. I'm about to hop off. Excuse me. About to go up in the store, get some more coconut water, hydrate a little bit more. But thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Excuse me. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of y'all's day today. And peace. Go get some sunlight, man.